ako ang makikipaglaban para makamta namin yung hustisya.
Relatives of the Maguindanao massacre victims awaits the case verdict as they mark the 9th year of the gruesome incident. Malacanang remains confident that the Congress will pass the 2019 proposed national budget before the end of the year. And water rate hike looms with impending construction of Kaliwa Dam in Infanta, Quezon. Relatives of the victims of the Maguindanao massacre hope for the decision of the case in 2019 as they mark the 9th year of the gruesome incident. May Bermudez tells us why.
It has been 9 years since Jolito Evardo died in a gruesome massacre that happened in Ampatuan town in Maguindanao in 2009. But for his mother Juliet, the memory of the day she last saw him alive remains vivid in her mind. Jolito was one of the video editors of the UNTV news team in General Santos City. In Juliet's recollection, her son was left behind by his team in Davao City on November 23. But he insisted on catching up with them, arguing that the covering of the filing of the certificate of candidacy of then Buluan Vice Mayor Ismael Toto Mangudadatu was important. Mangudadatu was then running for governor, challenging then Datu Unsay Mayor Andal Ampatuan Jr., the son of then incumbent Maguindanao Governor Andal Ampatuan Sr.
Naiwan sana siya sa sasakyan ng UNTV sa Bahada. Inano talaga niya, hinabol talaga niya. Sabi niya magsama talaga daw siya sa COC filing. Sabihin ko sa kanya na huwag kang sumama na lang kasi naiwan ka na. Isanabi ko. Pero hindi maano ba yung bibig ko, hindi mabuka-buka yung bibig ko na magsalita sa kanya ng ganun.
The morning after, Juliet was stunned upon hearing the news about the massacre and that her son was among those who were killed along with his team, reporter Victor Nunez, cameraman Macmac Ariola, and driver Daniel Tiamzon. 58 people died in the worst election-related violence recorded in the country's history.
Napunta kami doon sa Jensen. Doon nakita namin, bloated na ang kanilang mga tiyan, lumuluwa na yung kanyang hata. Parang naaawa ba ako na parang na-imagine ko na siguro tumakbo yung anak ko kasi may mga tama siya ng bala dito sa kanyang pelvic bone.
Years later, Juliet and families of other victims still await the verdict of the case as they mark the 9th year of the Maguindanao massacre on Friday. They, along with their lawyers, hope for the conclusion of the case in 2019 as the Quezon City Court sets to issue a resolution after the principal suspect in the crime submitted a formal entry of evidence and opposition from the prosecution. Justice, however, remains elusive as 70 out of the 198 accused remain at large. As the case dragged on for 9 years, 103 underwent trial, while 4 of the accused died in detention, including former Maguindanao Governor Andal Ampatuan Sr., who passed away after suffering a heart attack in 2015.
Panawagan natin sa Philippine National Police at sa DILG na hulihin na po yung 70 accused who are still at large para po talagang magkaroon ng complete trial for all the accused in the Maguindanao massacre.
Meanwhile, Malacanang believes that rule of law and justice will prevail for the victims. The palace also assures that the government is doing all it can to speed up the case's resolution.
The DOJ is the one responsible for prosecuting the case, and so it is doing its job. Its level best to speed up the prosecution of the case.
The Quezon City RTC Branch 221 has yet to announce the date for the promulgation of its decision. The kin of the victims hope for a favorable ruling in the case.
Alam namin na may pag-asa po kami na siya lang ang makakatulong sa kasong ito na hindi na magtagal kasi hindi natin alam ang buhay. 58 na po ako. Hindi ko alam kung kinabukasan ba ako'y mawawala. Sino pa ang maglalaban? Sino pa ang isasama para magsigaw ng katarungan?
Habang buhay pa ako ang makikipaglaban para makamta namin yung hustisya kasi gaano kahirap ang mawala ng ama. Tapos makikita mo yung anak na lumalaki.
May Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Watch out tomorrow for our exclusive interview with Attorney Gilbert Andres, who will give us an update regarding the Maguindanao massacre case. Meanwhile, Malacanang remains confident that the Congress will pass the proposed 2019 national budget this year, despite Senate's statement that the government may have to work on a reenacted budget at least until January of 2019. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
The Duterte administration believes that the Congress will approve the proposed 2019 national budget before 2018 ends. This is despite Senate's statement that it might only be able to approve the 2019 General Appropriations Bill on third and final reading by December 14, which is the last day of sessions before Congress goes on a holiday break. Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri said on Wednesday that the government may have to work on a reenacted budget until the Congress ratifies the bill on January 2019. Zubiri cited time constraints as reason for possibly not passing the proposal on time.
At the very least, the week of January 14, 15, 16 is the ratification. So technically, magkakaroon tayo ng reenacted budget.
But Malacanang says Congress will have to do its job as President Rodrigo Duterte is eyeing to sign the budget proposal on the third week of December. The House of Representatives has approved its version of the bill and is planning to transmit it to the upper chamber on Monday, November 26.
The House knows that this is the budget proposal of the palace, and so they will have to do their job. If there are questions on the budget, they will raise them and we will respond to them.
The Duterte administration also maintains there's no pork barrel fund or any irregularities inserted in the budget proposal.
So there are no pork insertions, sir, as far as the palace
As far
is
as I
concerned.
know.
Our budget is always Supreme Court compliant. Yung nagkaroon kasi ng decision sa DAP ang Supreme Court, always compliant. Yung dalawa ng budget namin ang napasa, 2017 at 2018. On time kami lagi.
Budget Secretary Benjamin Jokno also questions why the budget proposal remains pending in Congress. He also assures he is ready to answer questions regarding the bill.
May rules dyan. No? Kailangan i-submit nila sa amin kung anong tatanong nila. Kasi kung question hour, siyempre dapat naman ako maganda kung ano. Di ba? Hindi naman pwedeng pupunta ako doon, hindi ko alam kung anong question. Di ba? Hindi pwedeng ambush.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Households are likely to suffer from another water rate hike as the construction of the Kaliwa Dam in Infanta, Quezon is set to begin. Let's find out why from Monokson.
A water rate adjustment is looming due to the construction of the Kaliwa Dam project in Infanta, Quezon. According to the Metropolitan Water Works and Sewerage System, the Philippines will enter into a loan project with China to fund the construction of the 12.1 billion dam project. The fund will come from the Export and Import Bank of China, while the Chinese Energy Engineering Group will serve as contractor of the project. The loan will be shouldered by water concessionaires, Maynilad and Manila Water, which the two will eventually collect from their respective clients. The MWSS, however, clarifies that the increase will not be done abruptly.
Pero ito naman it will be spread over 20 years, no? So ito siguro baka wala pag 10 pesos a month ang equivalent yan sa household over the next 5 years. So hindi masyado namang apektado yan yung rate.
But a group of consumers opposes the plan of burdening the customers with loan obligations. They argue that the government should be the one to shoulder the loan payment to ease the burden of consumers.
Kasi kung utang ng gobyerno, ang gobyerno magbabayad, no? Somewhere, siguro in the form of taxes. Pero sa consumer, zero. Pero pag kasi ang Maynilad at ang Manila Water ang magbabayad ng utang, ipapasa sa atin yun eh.
The consumer group will appeal for another round of talk with MWSS to further review the project plan. But to MWSS, the construction of the Kaliwa Dam is highly necessary and must be executed at the soonest possible time. because Angat Dam can no longer suffice the needed supply of the growing population of consumers in Metro Manila. Once the project is done, the MWSS will be able to supply up to 600 million liters of water a day in Metro Manila. Based on the original plan, the Kaliwa Dam is expected to be erected in 5 years' time. However, the MWSS targets to complete its construction until 2022, before the end of President Rodrigo Duterte's term. Mon Hocson, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Malacanang has released the nomination paper of outgoing Senator Gregorio Gringo Honasan as the new Secretary of the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT. President Duterte signed Honasan's appointment paper on November 20. Honasan will take over from acting Secretary Eliseo Rio Jr., who held the post for the last 6 months. Honasan's appointment comes after the entry of Mislatel Consortium as the third major telco player in the country. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says questions on the credentials and qualifications of Honasan to lead the DICT will be up to the Congressional Commission on Appointments.
It will be the Commission on Appointments. There will be vetting there will be hearing. And he will have to respond to questions on his competence.
Hitmaker Vehnee Saturno will help create an OPM Star through his new composition in the second season of Wishcovery, the singer and the song. Leslie Longboan tells us why.
Vehnee Saturno is one of the most successful and well-known composers in the industry today. For almost 4 decades, he has written innumerable timeless hits throughout his career. And now, he is set to Wishcover a new OPM Star through his composition in the next season of Wishcovery.
Actually, kung sino mag-stand out, siyempre doon ako magka-concentrate. So, basta pipiliin ko yung sa tingin ko na makaka-deliver, and also yung live performance napaka-importante rin.
Vehnee will be one of the Composer-wishcoverers in Mindanao. Meanwhile, the hitmaker lauds the concept of Wishcovery that helps make dreams and wishes come true.
Well, Wish 1075 is kino-congratulate ko kayo kasi napakaganda ng ginagawa nyo. And sa tulong na binibigay nyo sa bawat singers na nangangarap na marating yung tagumpay, naku, keep on supporting them at gumawa tayo ng stars.
Watch out for Camp Vehnee on Wishcovery Season 2, The Singer and the Song on Wish 1075 YouTube channel starting November 26. Leslie Longboan, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Up next on Y News. President Duterte sacks HUD-C Secretary General due to corruption allegations. South Korea initiates probe on trash shipment to the Philippines and vows to take it back as soon as possible. And the Filipino overseas workers offered ways to invest in business in an annual summit. Y News will be right back after this quick break.
How could you believe that it will be completed by 2010 when in fact right now we don't see any activity?
El Nido stakeholders questions the progress of the sewage and solid waste treatment plants being constructed by the local government. President Duterte sacks HUD-C Secretary General due to corruption allegations. And the Senate panel cites in contempt a former PDEA official and 3 others over the 11 billion peso shabu shipment probe. President Duterte sacks Housing and Urban Development Coordinating Council Secretary General Falconi Miliar due to corruption allegations. This was announced ahead by Malacanang and later on confirmed by President Duterte on his speech during the inauguration of the Cavite Gateway Terminal. However, there are no details provided about the corruption allegations against Millar. Millar was a member of a task force Bangon Marawi tasked by the President to lead the rehabilitation of Marawi City. The local government of El Nido stresses that the construction of their planned sewage and solid waste treatment facilities have started more than a year prior to the rehabilitation efforts in the municipality. However, some stakeholders in El Nido Palawan are questioning the progress of the said projects. Grace Casin will tell us why, exclusive.
Based on the plan of the Palawan provincial government, all residential and business establishments in El Nido will connect to the sewage and solid waste treatment facility through a main pipeline where they can release their wastewaters. From the main pipeline, wastewaters will flow to the 13 cluster collector tanks that will be placed in different areas in the municipality. From the cluster tank, the wastewater will go to the treatment plant.
From dun po sa dumi ng mga tao, pwede po natin mai-convert sa methane gas and fertilizer, so which is maging kapaki-pakinabang pa ito.
According to El Nido Mayor Nieves Rosento, the LGU started building the facility way back in 2017. The project cost around 240 million pesos and is targeted to be completed by mid-2019. But the president of Cottages, Resorts and Restaurants Association of El Nido, Vehnee Fernandez, doubts that the local government will be able to finish the project on time. Fernandez claims the project has been abandoned, citing the pending cluster collector tank project in his area in Masagana Village and in Buena Suerte.
How could you believe that it will be completed by 2010 when in fact right now we don't see any activity?
The UNTV news team visited the project site in a 2-hectare land in Villa Libertad Village. However, the team saw no construction activity in the area and that the land has yet to be leveled. Pipelines also remained stuck and are yet to be installed. A source told UNTV News that the construction of the facility has stopped for almost 3 months now. The news team was able to contact the project's contractor, but they refused to provide any statement. When asked about the matter, Mayor Rosento admit they are encountering problems when it comes to the project's timeline. They are also set to meet on Monday to address construction delays.
Sa totoo lang po, sobrang bagal po talaga ng contractor na yan. Kasi hindi po kami ang pwedeng mag-terminate kasi nga it was bid out through the province kasi through interlocal agreement. Kung hindi pa po ako ang mayor.
Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, El Nido, Palawan.
A pathologist discredits the forensic examination done by the public attorney's office as improper, claiming that the cause of death of some of the inoculated children was found to have no direct link to the controversial anti-dengue vaccine. Aiko Miguel tells us why.
Pathologist and former Deputy Director for Professional Services of Philippine Children's Medical Center, Dr. Raimundo Lo, stated tagged as improper the forensic examination conducted by the Public Attorney's Office on children who died after receiving the DENGVAXIA vaccine. Dr. Lo explains he had seen some of Pau's and Dr. Erwin Erfe's presentations of their findings, and he pointed out that the forensic process used by Erfe is incorrect. He also claims that Dr. Erfe is not a legitimate pathologist to conduct such process.
Hindi pwedeng gawin ng hahanapin mo yung mga namatay, tapos autopsyahin mo, tapos sasabihin mo gawa ng vaccine. Hindi tama yun. Meron ka dapat epidemiologic study na hindi naman niya kayang gawin yun. Nanghahabol lang siya ng mga namatay para lang sabihin na gawa yan ng DENGVAXIA.
Dr. Lo stresses that Erfe has no enough basis to support his claim that the DENGVAXIA vaccine caused the death of the vaccinees. To sum it up, Dr. Lo says Pau did not consider the underlying diseases that the vaccinees had prior to their vaccination.
Mali-mali interpretation niya sa nakikita niya kasi hindi siya trained para makita kung ano yung mga dapat itawag sa mga changes na yon. Gusto pa rin niyang i-link sa DENGVAXIA. Bakit? Anong basis niya? Wala namang basis dahil ang nakalagay sa guidelines para mag-diagnose ng vaccine-related adverse events ay kailangan walang underlying disease yung pasyente na pagbigay ng mga simptomas na sinasabi niya. Meron nga mga underlying disease ng mga pasyenteng ito na kinamatay nila.
Dr. Law assures he is open to working with the Dengue Investigative Task Force as long as they show him the process they are using in identifying the causes of death of the vaccinees. He also urges Dr. Erfe and Pau to stop their gross examination on DENGVAXIA vaccinees because it only worsens the situation and affects other vaccination program.
Only a board-certified anatomic pathologist, even if it's a forensic autopsy, the pathologist is still in the best position to do that autopsy. Hindi yung gaya niyang kiniklaim niyang sarili niyang forensic expert.
PAO Chief Attorney Persida Acosta and Dr. Erfe previously stated that the DENGVAXIA has a direct link to the deaths of DENGVAXIA inoculated children.
Bago mapakunahan, they appeared to be healthy. No history of bleeding, edema, hemorrhages. Bago pakunahan, pero nung mapakunahan, common signs and symptoms, headache, pamamutla, vomiting, stomach ache, diarrhea, common sa kanila yan, and then sakit ulo, sakit tiyan. Tapos, nung mamatay, common manifestation sa cadaver. Pagdurugo ng utak at ng mga organs. Yan. Pamamaga, paglaki.
Within the, pinakahuli kasi 8 months pero previously puro 6 months lang yung period. Within that 6-month period after the vaccination, nagkakasakit yung bata at namamatay eventually. Yung from the time ng onset ng symptoms at saka mamatay yung bata, merong 12 hours, may 24 hours, merong 48 hours, napakabilis.
The Department of Health has been working with the Office of the Solicitor General for the filing of appropriate cases against the DENGVAXIA's manufacturer, pharmaceutical giant Sanofi Pasteur. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee cites in contempt a former PDEA official, 2 police officers, and 2 others as the panel resumes its probe into the 11 billion peso shabu shipment that slipped in the Bureau of Customs. Nel Morboc tells us why.
The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee resumed today its inquiry on the 11 billion shabu shipment controversy in the Bureau of Customs. Former Customs Intelligence and Investigation Service Officer Jimmy Guban, now under the Witness Protection Program, was in attendance during the probe. Guban maintained his statement that former PDEA Deputy Director Ismael Fajardo and former Police Colonel Eduardo Asierto were involved in the shipment of shabu loaded inside the controversial magnetic lifters that slipped customs screening in August this year. An image of the two together with PDEA Director General Aaron Aquino at a party dated September 3 was presented during the inquiry. The photo, Guban claimed, proves that Fajardo and Asierto were friends.
They are friends, sir.
Guban also implicated the customs broker named Meg Santos, who was allegedly tasked to settle or clear the names of those involved in the billion-peso shabu mess. Santos, who was present in the inquiry, denied the allegations.
Opo, Your Honor, para po doon sa damage control, kasama po, Sir, si Meg Santos.
Sir, sa unang-una, hindi po namin kilala si Colonel Asierto at hindi ko po nakakausap si Guban.
Fajardo and Asierto did not show up in the probe, as well as Marina Signapan, the owner of the SMYD Trading, and another respondent named Emily Lakingan. The 4 were cited in contempt for their absence.
Naresto ko dahil they're critical. If you notice na sinabihan ko yung PDEA, bakit hindi niya pinafile ng kaso? Because this is a new development na malinaw. At sabi, wala na yung asawa niya. Yung pala, siya pa nag-uutos na maibalik yung epektos yung drugs sa ibang bansa.
If the 4 fail to show up again at the next hearing on December 4, the Senate will have no choice but to order their arrest. Nel Maribuho, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
The Philippine National Police has launched a probe on the case of a police officer who was critically wounded after he was ambushed in an area in northern Mindanao on Tuesday. Leia Ilagan tells us why.
The Philippine National Police vows not to rest until investigators get into the bottom of the case of Police Superintendent Michael John Diloso, who suffered critical injuries after he was ambushed in Cagayan de Oro City on Tuesday morning. Diloso was on board his vehicle when two unidentified motorcycle riding gunmen opened fire at him while he was exiting the Provincial Capital Road along Barangay 29. Diloso sustained multiple gunshot wounds, but according to the PNP, he is now recovering after receiving treatment at the hospital. PNP spokesperson, Police Chief Superintendent Benigno Dorana Jr. says a special investigation task group has been activated in Region 10 to investigate the attempt on Diloso's life.
Si Jel Paclem ay siya po ay kagad-agad na bumuo ng Special Investigation Task Group to look deeper into this case. At para po natin ay matuntun po natin masalarin sa attempted assassination against one of our personnel at para po bigyan ng hustisya itong si Police Superintendent Diloso.
Police investigators are checking if Diloso's name is included in President Rodrigo Duterte's list of narcos while probing other possible motives for the shooting. Dorana says Diloso was just reinstated to the police service in April this year after the Office of the Ombudsman overturned its decision last year to dismiss Diloso from the force over bribery and extortion charges.
Ang pagkakaalam ko, marami po siyang mga criminal cases that were filed against him. At isa sa mga kaso na ito yata ay yung naging sanhi ng kanyang pagka-dismiss sa PNP noong 2017, no? Sometime 2017. At kamakailan, nagkaroon po ng reinstatement orders galing from the Ombudsman, reinstating him. I think the order was signed April 20 of 2018.
Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
The local government of Benguet and the Mines and Geosciences Bureau in the Cordillera region are eyeing to open a Minahang Bayan or small-scale mining site in Itogon, Benguet next month. This is following the suspension of a small-scale mining operations in the region after a massive landslide in the town of Itogon during the onslaught of Typhoon Ompong. Bernard Dadis explains why.
The Mines and Geosciences Bureau in the Cordillera Administrative Region has submitted a recommendation to the Office of Environment and Natural Resources Secretary Roy Simatu relating to the proposed opening of a Minahang Bayan or small-scale mining site in Itogon, Benguet. The moves come several weeks after the DNR ordered to halt the operation of small-scale miners in the region following the massive landslide that killed 62 people in Itogon town during the onslaught of Typhoon Ompong in October. According to MGB Car Director I. Apil, the provincial government of Benguet has completed the necessary documents for its application to open a Minahang Bayan in the 80 hectares of land in Itogon. MGB officials also inspected and declared the area as safe for a small-scale mining operation.
We are just waiting for the signature of the Secretary for his clearance, and then the PMR we will declare as a Minahang Bayan area. Kasi it's the only applicant kasi na compliance sa lahat ng mga requirements.
The Minahang Bayan targeted to open on December is expected to help thousands of Benguet miners who lost their jobs due to the suspension order. The MGB and LGU also eye to operate a Minahang Bayan in another town of Benguet. Meanwhile, the MGB and the Department of Public Works and Highways are conducting inspections in their building sites in the Cordillera to ensure that these are not located in hazard-prone areas. This is to prevent a similar incident when a landslide buried a DPWH building in Natonin Mountain Province during the onslaught of Typhoon Rosita.
But when we do geological assessment, titingin kami sa taas, sa baba, sa likod, sa kapaligiran, kung ano ba ang magiging effect ng itatayo nilang building sa environment or ano ang magiging effect ng environment sa itatayo nilang building.
Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The South Korean government has initiated an investigation into the shipment of over 5,000 tons of trash discovered in Misamis Oriental some 2 weeks ago. In a statement posted on its website on Thursday, the South Korean embassy in the Philippines said concerned home agencies is already investigating the Korean exporter who happened to misdeclare the contents of the said shipment. It added that the South Korean government vowed to take measures to have the waste in questions be brought back to Korea as soon as possible and promised to prevent the recurrence of the problem in the future. An annual summit that kicked off this week offers investment seminars for returning and vacationing overseas Filipino workers. Joan Nano explains why.
The annual OFW Summit of the Villamor-Camara Foundation kicked off at the World Trade Center on Wednesday. The event offered investment seminar for returning and vacationing overseas Filipino workers to save and make use of their hard-earned money into something worthy.
Gusto natin yung pamilya nila ma-invest ng tama para pagdating ng araw na hindi na pwedeng mag-OFW yung pamilya nila, at least makauwi sa Pilipinas, may source of income.
Overseas Workers Welfare Administration Deputy Administrator Arnel Ignacio said the event is a big help for OFWs, especially those who were not able to finish their contracts abroad due to inevitable circumstances.
Katulad dito, we can link it with Balik Pinas, Balik Hanap Buhay. Itong Balik Pinas, Balik Hanap Buhay ng OWA, para ito doon sa mga hindi nakatapos ang kontrata nila, nagkaroon sila ng problema doon, umuwi rito. So, binibigyan namin sila ng seminar at binibigyan namin sila ng paunang 20,000. And then, so perfect na sila ay mag-connect dito sa project ni Senator Villar para meron silang karagdagang guidance. Paano ko bang lalo mapapalago itong ibinigay sa akin ng OWA?
Filipino workers who participated in the event hope to utilize the knowledge they learned from the event so they could better manage their resources.
Malaking bagay po yung pong experience nila, kung gaano yung paghihirap nila po sa abroad at napabuti po yung buhay nila dahil sa mga bagay-bagay ng tulad ng pagtitipid, yung investment, at saka as well as yung retirement nila.
Maria Shirley Petalio, who is also a parent of an OFW, said that she is planning to enter into the food business.
Magninegosyo kami. Gusto kong negosyo pagkain, katulad ng yung magsimula sa maliit, kantin, ganyan. Tapos yung mabiling negosyo, ang pagkain mabili yan.
Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Up next on Y News. Australian Bali 9 drug mule released from Indonesian prison after 13 years. Heavy rains expected in North California seen to help firefighters battle the wildfires but complicate the search for victims. And the U.S. and Canadian health officials warns against eating romaine lettuce contaminated with E. coli. And those are the reasons behind the stories in the first and second part of our newscast. Y News returns with William Thio. I'm Rheena, Villamor-Camara. Good evening.